Hi guys, Jasmo here with another update of the early Crucible League situation. So far we've gotten to level 95 and the character's name is Asmo Get Rich Quick, so that's what we're doing. We're up to 50 divines right now, a little bit over that because I got tons of other stuff. I got some other currencies, we got tons of stack decks, we've got tons of blueprints, tons of contracts. I got a bunch of reveals, right, like intangible stuff like that, and a bunch of stuff for sale. But we got 50 liquid divines, so I'm going to probably buy apothecaries or something like that and try to work toward a mage blood probably, because I'm not sure what's gonna be the next build that I'm gonna be playing. But whatever build I'm gonna be playing, mage blood is probably gonna make it better. So before mage blood skyrockets too high in price, probably a good idea to invest in that since I'm making a lot of currency. And I guess I can share with you everything that I'm doing. It's mostly heist. There are a few little things that I'm doing here and there. Like there's like little flips that I was doing. I can share with you one of the things that I was flipping. For example, I have one card left over here, the last one standing. So this is a card for the Ad Series Disfavor Axe. And I wasn't doing much flipping, but I flipped like maybe 3 different things. This was one of them, and basically I would be buying them for below 50 chaos. I would be buying for like 48, 49 chaos, and then the axe itself was selling for like 700 chaos, something like that, in divines when you calculate it. So I was spending 500 chaos and getting 700 chaos, and that's the minimum you're gonna get, because of course you can also get lucky and get a better roll, but the minimum is, I was making 200 chaos, which means 20c per trade, right? 20c per trade, it's a pretty good rate of making currency. So that was one of the things that was helping me make currency, but mostly the currency comes from farming heist. So the way I farm heist, I don't buy contracts, I don't buy blueprints. Sometimes occasionally I will buy coins when I need the extra coins, the rogue markers, but that would be the only thing I would be buying, because the rest of that I can supply myself way better than I get from trade, because I get things of way better quality, right? I get better contracts, I get better blueprints, and there's so many contracts that you can run with Gianna +1. So if you didn't know, I recommend you check out my heist guide if you're interested in that, because everything except for the little section about endless heist applies still. Basically, this is exactly what I'm following. I literally watched my own guide before this league as a refresher to figure out how to run heist. And yeah, you need +1 on Gianna. That way she can run a level 3 perception, level 4 counter thaumaturgy and deception. So not just deception. And that way you get tons of reveals. Yeah, getting better quality contracts. You can source them yourself, source the blueprints yourself, so that you're not buying other people's trash. Because after I run some blueprints, eventually, like, you're getting so many blueprints while you're farming them that you're gonna end up selling some. You can't run all of them, like, unless you can just buy a bunch of rogue markers and run the shitty ones. But it's better to just run the good ones and sell the bad ones, right? That's what I'm gonna be doing. So for example, things like that, like 10 currency rewards, 4 div rewards, or like 8 currency rewards, or 6 currency, 6 div rewards, right, on good basis, like gems and experimental items and replicas. This is really juicy, and this is something that basically I'm gonna be running instead of running these other like shitty ones that don't have like good rewards. Like something like that you can check quickly and run the gems still. But if it's like enchanted armaments and it doesn't have any rewards or anything like that, like, this would be one of the contracts that I would basically sell, and the people on TFT buying them are gonna be running those blueprints, right? So that's why these are so cheap on TFT as well. So it's way better to source stuff yourself and run the really good stuff, run it in an optimized way. Again, check out my guides to learn about that, and then you're gonna make a ton of currency, right? It's very easy to make currency, and all you need is this character, right? This character is like maybe 40 chaos worth of gear Plus, I paid 50 chaos for my cluster jewel, and I crafted this with alterations myself. So less than 100 chaos worth of gear that I had before I finished the campaign. And yeah, we're farming T16s very, very quickly. I killed my own Searing Exarch and Eater of Worlds for the Watchstones. So this, like on a 5-link Quill Rain, you don't even need to buy boss carries to get the Watchstones, and all you need is actually 2 Watchstones in order to very efficiently farm your own or like your own contracts and blueprints. And the good thing about the character being so fast is that it can do it very quickly, right? So even if you're running maps that don't have optimal layouts, even if the map doesn't have a really, really good layout, it's still really, really easy and nice to clear on this character because of the sheer amount of move speed, right? We're getting above 300% bonus move speed while we're running maps. Actually, in maps even more, and in some contracts blueprints even more, because we've got Huck, and we've got the level 15 haste skill on him, right? So we got level 15 haste plus his own ability. He gives a buff that gives you attack speed, attack damage, and movement speed. And that buff is available in the maps if you pick this node, right? The Dutiful Soldier. Huck accompanies you on opening the first Smuggler's Cache in each of your maps. So you open a Smuggler's Cache and then you get the Huck, and he provides you with those buffs. You can see clearly like the haste buff on yourself if you're using haste on him. That's what I'm using, because it's a very, very good very good buff. You need, I think, level 70 something. The arrowhead, it can only be rolled on arrowheads, right? So I got a bunch of characters with these arrowheads. You can see precise arrowhead requires level 5 in any job, and Huck cannot get level 5 in any job, so you need to be using the fragmenting arrowhead that requires level 3 in any job. You can get up to level 3. And then level 15 haste skill, you just roll with alteration. You can see like I got level 15 haste here. Who else? Tulina doesn't have it yet. Tibbs has it. Karst needs to have it, right? So I'm still in the process of making gear for my characters, and that's gonna be the next focus, just optimizing heist, getting a better trinket, getting potentially a trinket that has like chance to duplicate contain rogue markers from smugglers caches and from monster drops, so I can have that one for mapping, do a bunch of mapping, get bigger benefit from the caches, get more rogue markers, and then swap to the proper one while heisting, right? So it's going to be a strategy that I'm going to be doing as well. The character is absolutely unchanged from when I was in campaign doing Endless Heist, or not Endless Heist, but like the first early heist, where I was making a little bit of currency just to equip this character. And that's what allowed me to also have this much currency, because I wasn't forced to upgrade my character, right? Because it clears everything very, very easily, and I don't need to upgrade it just yet. I'm gonna start upgrading it soon. I'm gonna try to figure out whether I'm gonna buy the expensive trinket or whether I'm gonna go for the Mage Blood. We'll see, but that's what I'm gonna be working on now. I think next maybe like 3 days, 2-3 days, and I should have Mage Blood if I'm gonna be going for that, and that's gonna speed the character a lot. It's gonna add a lot of quality of life, and it's gonna be very nice, because I'm probably going to go for a Quicksilver Flask. I'm going to go for evasion. I'm going to go for armor, and then maybe like chaos res and resistances. So those would be like the 4 flasks that I'm considering, and then run a life flask, or potentially not. But right now, as I'm playing this character, the life flask is super helpful. I'm basically relying on my skill a little bit to carry me, because I've heard of people saying like, I'm level 60 doing level 60 level 60 like heist and stuff, and I'm dying all the time. What can I do? And there's not much more that you need than this on this character, right? We got a bunch of evasions. So let me go to my hideout. So we got the Grayson, so we got 50k evasion, ailment avoidance cap, so we're immune to ailments. We have 100% spell suppression, and we got 4k life, and that's it. And just move quickly, don't get hit, and you're gonna be safe most of the time. I mean, I hit level 95 running content where I'm not really killing monsters, right? I don't have that many monster skill. Let's see, kills 200,000 monsters, so that's not that much. That's like a probably low average, for people who are playing a lot. Basically the reason why I'm able to level is because I'm not allowed to die in heist, right? So I have to pay attention. I have to play safe in terms of like my positioning, but with the character being so fast, it's very, very easy. And yeah, a lot of the things that I am not buying now, such as, for example, 6-link, such as upgraded gear and all of those things are getting cheaper with time. And the things that I'm gonna be buying now, such as Mage Blood, are gonna get more expensive, right? So it's all about prioritizing. It's one of the biggest tips that I can give you if you want to have more currency, is to figure out which things that you're buying appreciate over time and which things that you're buying depreciate over time, right? So like 6-links are gonna depreciate over time, right? Like the 6-link that you're gonna pay like 6 divines for, and these divines are also worth fewer amount of chaos early on, right? So you're losing divines that appreciate as well. So you're gonna spend 6 divines for like a 6-link, but then in a week it's gonna be worth 2 divines, right? So you're losing 4 divines, and those 4 divines are also gonna be more valuable later. But then what do you do, right? How do you progress without upgrading your character if you're too weak? The easiest answer is either play a better build, but if you're not playing a better build, what you can do is simply stay in lower tier maps. There's nothing wrong, you're not losing much by doing like tier 9 maps and just farming good league mechanics, right? If you get to like tier 9 and clear all of the maps, like almost to red maps, you're gonna have a lot of Atlas passive skill points, and you're going to be able to fully invest into like 2 league mechanics, right? And those 2 league mechanics can carry you. You can do like expedition and farm logbooks, do logbooks and do 2-gen and rogue, craft with rogue, and then also do essences. And basically those things together will make sure that you're gonna be able to make currency, even if you have like dirt cheap character with a 5-link or a 4-link, and you're gonna be able to make currency that way. So focus on making currency first if you care about that, if you find that fun. I this league decided that that's what I'm gonna be doing, so I'm having a lot of fun with that. But yeah, focus first on making currency, and then get the things that are gonna appreciate over time, such as, you know, doctor cards, the apothecaries, the things like that. There's lots of different stuff that you can look at. You can look at POE Antiquary, you can look at POE Ninja and historical data from those websites to see whether the things that you're buying are going to be something that is becoming cheaper or more expensive throughout the league. And manipulating that and buying first the things that are cheap early and delaying buying the things that are expensive early is going to be a key to success, right? Like, for example, I didn't have to spend my fusings, so now that fusings are pretty expensive, I'm able to sell all the fusings that I'm farming. Later on, they're going to be cheaper, but I'm going to be able to get them for much less, and I'm going to be able to link whatever items that I want. And same with, for example, alterations. Alterations right now are very, very cheap. So right now I'm crafting stuff with alterations. I'm crafting stuff, for example, for my rogues, the rogue gear with alterations. You can craft flasks with alterations and make some currency that way, because it's very, very cheap to get a bunch of alterations right now. But later they're going to be a little bit more expensive as fewer and fewer people have like just junk gear that they don't need, that they're still picking up and selling and getting these alterations, right? So later on, alterations are going to be a little bit more expensive than now. And yeah, I've had a lot of fun. It's really nice to combine heist with mapping. You can do this even in lower tiers, like just like I said, tier 9 maps, you can do tier 9 heist as well. It doesn't stop you from doing it. You can do blueprints, you can do contracts. Yes, you're gonna have to be finding like slightly fewer rewards, and for example, it's not gonna be worth doing like the enchanted weapon blueprints and things like that, because or like some experimented bases are gonna be too low item level, but still you're gonna be getting benefit from other things like gems are, doesn't matter, the item level doesn't matter, right? So you're gonna be able to be doing that. Same with like stack decks, right? Dropping stack decks and dropping raw currency, the ton of it you drop in heist, and that's gonna be just as good on lower levels, right? So you can stay on lower levels instead of just killing yourself over and over and trying to progress and hitting your head against the wall. You can simply stay in the lower tier content and farm the money, and then have much easier time because you're gonna be able to upgrade your character, right? And heist provides you with so many resources. You can see all of these little currencies, it's all like sold out. I sold so much in bulk. So the things that I was selling in bulk is like instilling and enkindling orbs. I was selling a bunch of glass blowers. I was selling a ton of GCPs. I was selling my alchemies, like 200 at a time. What else was I selling? Of course, fusings. I'm not selling ancient orbs because ancient orbs are gonna go up in price. Right now they're like dirt cheap, 3 chaos. If you want, you can invest in them, and probably later they're gonna be closer to like 10 chaos in value. What else? I was selling sextants. I was getting ton of chisels, so I don't have to like if I'm mapping, I have ton of chisels and ton of like horizon orbs. I sold like 400 horizon orbs, I think, that I'm just getting from heisting. And whenever I want to run maps, then I could just pick whatever natural map that I want because I can just always horizon them. So it's very, very useful to run heist because you get just so many resources that you don't have to trade for them. And it's really, really good. Similar effect you get when you're doing league mechanics, like for example, expedition, and you're running 2gen, right? So 2gen in expedition provides you with something similar where you get tons of these smaller currencies and you don't have to trade for it, and it's just big quality of life. So that's it. My skill tree, my Atlas passive skill tree hasn't changed. Maybe I unlocked a couple of random points that I don't have anything to do with, but basically blocking everything except for heist, full map sustain, full heist, and stockpiling on betrayal mission because I'm gonna be doing them later, because later they're gonna be also more expensive, right? This is something that also appreciates in value because early on in the league, if you look at the Ashling craft, it's worth like nothing. Like the first few days it's worth like 20 chaos or 40 chaos, but then later on it goes up to like 3 divines. So this is something that's gonna appreciate in price, and you can never have enough of these missions. So that's why I'm getting a bunch of them from all the maps that I'm running, and I'm running a ton of maps because I'm running them very, very quickly with just basically heist and killing the boss. And I'm getting the Eater of Worlds because I think everybody is, I haven't really checked the prices, but I'm assuming that everybody is farming the Searing Exarch, so these invitations are gonna be way cheaper than these. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm not even looking at the altars. I'm just proccing the influence just to get the invitation, and that's it, and moving on. That's another thing that I can give you a tip for. Basically, I should maybe make another separate video with like tips for making currency, but one tip I can give you is that you should try to always think of whether what you're doing is making you more currency than skipping it, right? Because skipping looking at the altars and skipping clicking the altars actually is making me more currency than the altars would make me, right? Because I'm saving the time and I'm spending this time more efficiently. So it's all about the opportunity cost with that. So that's it for this update. We are basically almost half the way toward Mage Blood, maybe a little bit less than that. And that's, I guess, what I'm gonna try to be doing. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.